after lunch now, and you'd be kind of, you know, wanting, like I said there, to take ownership over the work again, to kind of start to view it as yours, and what is it that you want to do here, and when you look at the model and back of your board, how do you, you know, make what happens here feel true to you from what you're looking at. So let me see now. Yeah, so there we are.
If you turn it sideways, maybe he'd be able to get it.
No, don't worry about me. I'll move that.
Yeah, that way, yeah.
It's better for you to actually turn it that way. Okay. Alright, so you want ease of access to your water and your paper towel and everything, as I say, within easy reach. And okay, so I think what I want to do is to put something in here for the shoulder, and maybe to indicate something of this eye.
Yeah.
Is it okay to do an eye demonstration? No,
I'd love to do an eye demonstration again.
Okay, because the other features are fairly well established already, I think. Okay, so it's a bigger brush actually. As soon as if you notice a part that you're going to be doing that it's quite big, then go for the biggest brush and err on the side of the bigger brush rather than the, you know, if you think, oh, I might do it with that, then make yourself go to the bigger brush and do it in even fewer marks. Whatever it is. And there's the hair coming in there, and a little bit of the hair here. And then I think I will do something in the, I'd like to say hello to everyone watching there. Welcome back if you're here and you're now watching me next week. So I'll do something to explain that top. Of course, it's an ultramarine blue, you guys said it's run out. So we've just set the timer for 15 minutes, but was that about 10 minutes ago now? No, okay. So it's a short one, but just... and I don't want the top to be the same colour as the hair, so I'm putting some alizarin crimson into the ultramarine blue there, just so that the top is a different value. I think that'll be fine, I'll just try it. Something to explain where the collar is, and to show the extension of the neck and the nice upright stance here. Excuse me. I feel like there's a hint of that purplish colour could be seen here as well. And to the, you know, the shadow cast by the nose onto the face there. I mean, I suppose in actual fact it's not blue, is it? But as a hint of, I think it helps to have some blue in there for me. The colours that I've got. And I'll just use the sap green now, because I noticed that some of the hair on the right hand side over the ear, there's something different going on there. There's a little bit of, maybe something kind of slightly green in the front of the ear. There. You could bring it down here too. I think I'm inspired by the colours that you're using. Like some of you are bringing real variety in regard to colour, and it's always it's kind of a bit of a relief to bring colour in sometimes, just to start to answer that call in yourself. Just want to put on some skin colour on the right hand side of the neck, and then we can start to. How did I start with that colour? Maybe that's the kind of I suppose it's no harm to bring in a bit of warmth, really.
Bless you.
Yeah, bless you. No harm to bring a bit of warmth in. Let us know that that's definitely skin. Here too. And then the neck, it might be a little bit greener though. Just put a touch of the meridian green into it, so that it's not as warm as the skin of the face. Don't really want the warmth of the skin down on the neck to be drawing attention to itself. But now that there's all the carry-on around the place, I think I need to re-establish the shadow of the underneath the nose. Excuse me.
That's the viridian green, isn't it?
Well, we see now, what did I'm just going to lift off the end of the nose was starting to be encroached in by the shadows there, and I wanted it to have enough volume. And now, did I put the viridian, was it the viridian green that you saw me?
Yeah, and crimson, I think.
And the right hand woman here, that's where you wrote down.
That's what I wrote down anyway.
Okay, so Viridian green and crimson, yeah, so, because I thought like, okay, so the chin is clear, the eyebrows are clear, but in between I want to get some clarity back there. So just some idea of where the nose will stop, like the shadow attached to the underside of the nose. And again, later on I could even make it darker again by painting the cavity of the nostrils in there. And clean this out. Oh yeah. So sometimes you can be a bit gung-ho and there's stuff that you then have to bring up into more clarity again because you've lost things. But that lost and found carry on is the journey of painting, I think. And sometimes you lose stuff that you've liked, but trust that you'll find something there that you might love when the thing left you. So, some little indication of the line dividing the lips there. And probably the nose is a different angle. Something like that. I don't know. Just let it be some bit dark and nondescript until you know what's going on there. And then the mouth could drop down, I think, a little bit further there. And maybe down here a little bit more too. There's always the option to adjust edges if you need to. You think I need to drop down the jaw slightly more here so that it's got a bit more of an elegant kind of thing going on. So that the mouth can drop down a little bit more as well. Just in making some big operations. It's okay. It's alright. And then I think then the nostril can sit there and the dark can be found again. So there's sometimes a shifting about of the features, like, and when I think our eye goes to the part that feels most satisfying, hopefully the viewer's eye will find which line is the best one. If you put in a few, give them a choice. There's a few corners there now. Select which one feels like it's most, select which one looks like it's kind of convincing. But in order to fit with that, I'm feeling like I wanted to open out the shape here a little bit more, or drop that eye down to the right a bit. Anyway, let's do the eye for God's sake. So I'm going to work on the eye on this side. I'm just putting a little bit of cadmium red into the ultramarine blue because I want to make the colour. So a lump of cadmium red in the brush there. I want to make the colour of the red on the side of the nose there kind of shift a little bit over to the left as well, so that I've got enough skin between the. Oh, it just seems like that's a good idea. Put a bit more shadow there. Okay. And then the end of the nose often is a bit warm as well. So sometimes putting a bit of colour in will make it feel more like the feature. You can get away with doing less if it's got some other way of identifying itself than form and line alone. And colour is a way of identifying parts too. Okay. So things the top of the red there as well. Okay. Eye. So when we're going to paint the eyes, what I recommend you do is that you could have a look first at the two directions of the eyebrow. So this eyebrow now kind of extends over quite far, you know, it kind of comes over further than the inner corner of the eye, like significantly further. And that same dark could be applied in places like the nostril and the corner of the mouth as well, of course. You'll find other places to put the dark when you're indicating it in one place. So I'm going to put ultramarine blue and some Van Dyke brown together to make the eyebrow. Yeah, that's how the eyebrow is fine. Okay, and now, so the upper, this is really horrible doing an eye demonstration right now, isn't it? Just after lunch. So I'm going to draw the two directions of the upper eyelid. So from the inner corner of the eye up the way there's a steep slope, and then almost like a horizontal for a while. And I'm noticing the amount of skin that sits between the eyebrow and the eyelid. I made a little bit too much skin of that skin yesterday, I think, in the demonstration. There was too much space there almost. So I'm taking a bit more care here now. So the two directions of the eyelash line is what I've just done. As far as I'm aware, that's what I've just done there. And now I'm going to put a little bit of red into it, a little bit more of the kind of dirty crimson red that was, or cadmium red I should say, that was left on the palette, just to print the second line that's parallel to the first one. That's going to be the lid. And I think I could take some of the water out of it so it's not as dominant as the eyelash line itself. And now I'm going to use, and I think it feels like that's enough of an outline and things for now. I'm going to put the inner corner of the eye in with a little flash of a bit of cadmium red there, you know, mixed into the colours that were in the palette. And I'm going to use the corner of the brush. Yeah, this corner has got the cadmium red on it to explain the inner corner of the eye. So just a touch of colour, in the same way as colour makes lips read as lips. I think the inner corner of the eye can be explained by a bit of colour there too. And it looks to me like the skin coming up to meet the skin that's hugging the eyeball here on the right hand side has a purplish hint to it as well, I think. So I'll just push that up and lift. And then I'm going to push it in from the outside and let it connect with the eyelash line so that it just settles it in a little bit more. We want the features to emerge as part of the landscape of the face rather than to feel like they're drawn on top. You know, so I think anything that lets it kind of soften in is helpful. I'm just noticing the eyebrow then might be a bit darker there rather than out there. Okay, and then so having picked up what was on the eyebrow, I might have enough now to describe the iris. So the iris is sitting centrally pretty much. So there's a little bit of white to the right and then to the left hand side of the iris. And it's covered, not quite half, but some of the eye is covered by the upper lid. And like I was saying, you kind of need to tolerate the eye looking a little bit funny for a while as you're painting it, because it's important to try your best to find the position of the iris. And like I'm going to ask you to focus on one place generally in front of you. Yeah, that's it.
What colour are you using there?
That's mostly the ultramarine blue. Like my brush was a bit dirty when I was using it, which kind of suited me. Like I didn't want it to be bright blue really. So you could put a touch of brown into your blue that's already on there for the eyes, and in order to soften the blueness up on the clothes. Yeah. So you just have blue eyes. Okay, do you have blue eyes? I think you do. So I'm going to fill the shadow that's in here as well. There's a shadow that comes down a little bit further on the inside bit. Yeah, and then I'm just noticing, like standing back, it's really helpful to look and see, is there enough there? Like, you always want to do less and to stop before it's completely literally outlined, you know, so if you get away with things. So I think I'm getting away with a fair bit here, but I might want to just put a touch of cerulean blue maybe into the white of the eye on the right hand side, because really when I half close my eyes, the skin on the nose is brighter than the white of the eye is. And I think if I put cerulean blue in there, I can also manipulate the lid to lift it a little bit with the blue, because I feel like the lid needs to lift a little bit there. So or even just to disturb the lid so that it's kind of gone off there a little bit. And I might bring it in. Okay, so I think what I might do is lift off here as well. The same cerulean blue still in the brush. What was that the time? Could I just have another minute? Like, do you need to turn it off though? Sorry, listen. That was 15 minutes, I think, was it? Sorry. We'll just do maybe one more. Maybe just do one more minute, honestly. Because what I want to do, look at that colour I'm making there now, is the kind of Indian ink consistency with the ultramarine blue and the Van Dyke brown. Don't shy away from using a lot of pigment when you want to get, like for example, the pupil needs to be dark. And if the paper is wet, it's going to dilute the pigment, so you'll know it'll leach the it'll leach the pigment out of it for you. So you really want it to have enough in there that it will explain, it will clarify what you want. And when it's completely dry, you know, you could print on the colour. Just making it a little bit darker there. And maybe there's a touch of some clarity here might be helpful. Maybe it could be good to eat out of that a little bit. But I want to just let it alone when it dries, and later on maybe lift off a little bit of the coloured part of the iris. And just because I've got the same dark on the brush, I might as well bring that into in there too, possibly.
It does look crazy. How all of a sudden it's just there.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think this is one of the things that at the start you'd be doing your 5 things, and then at the end with your darks you can kind of clarify something of those places that you've sought to find with such courage. You might as well clarify them with your dark then, and then you can change to a bigger brush and do something equally dark down there maybe. Like it might be that you can bring in something really significantly dark down there as well. But just a final thing, as I go back up, I'm noticing that the eye it might be dry enough to put just a little bit more, there's something, a tiny bit more definition maybe along the left side of the iris, so that I kind of want to be in no doubt that it's an eye, without it being terribly clearly painted everywhere. Eye. Okay, I'm going to stop now because I'm starting to get precious for myself. Thanks very much, Mick. Great. Okay.